16. Hi, I'm Stan Mayakovsky, Stan said. These are my associates. I telephoned ahead. I need a spaceship crew for a hazardous mission. If the guard at the front window of the entry gate was impressed, she didn't show it. She was a squarely built woman with short, bristly hair. She put down her biker magazine and said, "What company you with?" "Sonag Guard Acceptance Corporation," Stan said, and showed his credentials. Back before his trouble began, Stan had taken over the Dolomite by buying the controlling shares in Sonag Guard, a spaceship holding company. The company was the real owner of the ship, not Stan, who had never bothered to have the ship registered in his own name. In fact, he had decided not to. That way, if the ship got into any trouble, he wouldn't be liable. "You'll find my name on a list." He was hoping that the government hadn't gotten around to prescribing his company and red flagging it on a computer. It was unlikely. As Julie had pointed out, it took government forever to bring their records up to date. The inefficiency wasn't strictly government's fault. There was neither the time nor the personnel available to record all the crimes, arrests, and depositions that were taking place around the clock in an America more lawless than it had ever been in all its lawless history. Sonag Guard Acceptance Corporation would probably be a legal entity for months to come. The guard punched the name up on her computer. "Yeah, you're on the list. Go on through." She buzzed open the heavy metal door leading to the prison. "So far, so good," Julie said. Stan, accompanied by Julie and Hovind, went through into a long, brightly lit corridor. "Oh, I didn't expect much trouble getting in. It's the getting out that concerns me." "You worry too much," she said. "Doesn't he, Hovind?" "He's worrying about the wrong things. What he should be thinking about is what if one of those men recognizes me." "You're not exactly a cover girl," Julie said. "I don't think you need to worry." Their footsteps echoed hollowly as they went down the long corridor, following the flashing arrows that took visitors to the Recruitment Center. There was a door at the end of the corridor. It buzzed open for them. Within was a large office, plenty of plain metal desks and chairs, and a guard seated at a bigger desk in front of a computer. "Come on, Dr. Mayakovsky," the guard said. "I've got all the volunteers in the holding tank just behind this room. There are 20 of them. That is, as you requested it, is it not?" "It's fine. I'd like you to meet Mrs. Lish, my associate, and Thomas Hovind, my captain. He'll be doing the actual selection in my name." "As you know," the guard said, "we have already made the pre-selection for you, giving you the top 20 men on our alpha list. You may reject any of them, and you do not have to give a reason. If you're ready, I'll have the people sent in." Stan nodded. The guard pressed a button. A panel slid up smoothly in the steel wall. There was a sound of moving feet, and then the prisoners came marching out in single file. Following the guard's commands, they formed a line across the room, stopped, and turned to face Stan and his party. Captain Hovind walked up to the men. He paced up and down the line, peering into their faces. He came to one, hesitated, stopped, and stared. Red Badger stared back. Hovind said, "Do I know you? Have we ever met?" "I don't think so, sir," said Red Badger. "But of course,
I've got a lousy memory.
Hovind kept on staring at him. Badger said,
I'm a good spaceman, sir. I just want a chance to rehabilitate myself.
Hovind pursed his lips, frowned, then turned away. Anything wrong, Mr. Hovind? Stan asked. No, everything's fine. Do the men look all right to you? Yes, they look fine. Stan could see that something was bothering Hovind. But now was obviously not the time to ask him about it. Maybe, he thought, the captain was just nervous. Stan turned to the guard. I'll accept this lot. I'm posting money to send them out to their ship. Okay with me, the guard said. What ship is that? The Dolomite, Stan said, and waited. The guard bent over the computer. How do you spell it? She asked. And Stan knew everything was going to be all right. 17. They were transporting the prisoners to Facility 12, where they would take the shuttle to the Dolomite, their new ship. Hovind was thinking, damn it, I know I've seen that man before. He knew who I was. I'm sure of it. So why did I pick him? Because I could tell from his look, if I didn't take him, he was going to tell everybody who I was. It's not just my imagination. I know what that bastard was going to do. I should never have gotten myself into this in the first place. Unexpectedly, Hovind found himself regretting his decision to go in with Stan. Some people might have thought it was crazy, but people just didn't understand. He was grateful for this chance to redeem himself, get back on top, prove himself a winner. But another side of his character knew himself for a loser and just wanted a soft place to lie down. Funny to think of Jersey City as a soft place, but it was. Somehow he always got fed, always had a roof over his head, and best of all, nobody expected anything of him. He could relax, take a drink or two, take a lot of drinks. He knew that wasn't how he ought to feel. It was like there were a couple of Hovinds, and at least one of them was working actively to undermine him. He tried to remind himself that good things lay ahead. He'd soon be piloting his own ship again. You couldn't do better than that. But somehow it didn't have quite the savor it ought to. And Captain Thomas Hovind became aware that he faced a greater danger than whatever Stan was getting them into. You can guard against murder, but how do you guard against your own thoughts of suicide?